Do you remember the times when the roads were full of MPVs? Seat Alhambra, Ford Galaxy, Peugeot 806, and, of course, the daddy which started this trend, Renault Espace. I'm right now here in this beautiful place where they do ski jumps. And we're here because this car, the Renault Espace, has also made a big jump. I had it way before, years ago, and I really liked it. It was big, it was spacious, comfortable, but I had one complaint. The engine was a bit weak, but now there's a 200 horsepower diesel in here. Yes, thankfully Renault's engineers have decided that a big car like this needs a bit more than just a 1.6-liter hamster. And we have to thank the stars they didn't go the other way with a 3-cylinder or something. A car which offers the 4Control system in the higher equipment levels is pretty well known on the roads. So I won't delve into the exterior and interior too much, because I've already tested it a while ago. But I do have to mention how relaxing it is inside, and a big part of that is the roominess, as well as these very comfortable Initiale Paris leather seats. The rear passengers will have a lot of space as well, both on the seats as well as legroom. But before we go for that drive, let me just show you the boot. This car does not have the optional third row of seats, which means that you get a lot of space, like you should in a big car like this. I could probably fit in here and another clone of me easily. Before I talk about the engine under the bonnet, which is pretty much the center of this test, let me just go over the car just very quickly, even though I did test the Espace a few years ago, and it's still a big, comfortable vehicle. Now, of course, these types of vehicles aren't as popular as they were sometime. Now it's more about SUVs, but you get a lot of space in the front, a lot of space in the back, in the trunk or the boot, whatever you call it. And also here at the front, I really have a feeling like I'm sitting in a bloody cathedral, because there's so much space to the front windscreen. And of course, with this higher equipment level, you also get these more comfortable seats, which are very nice, especially for longer drives. They're leather wrapped, and they offer heating and cooling, which I think is very important if you have leather. I also wish to mention the 4Control system, which is now available with the Espace. Well, it was available before as well, but it basically means that the rear wheels are turning as well. Now in practice, that means that you can do much tighter maneuvers with this big car, which you usually wouldn't be able to do. So over here, I turn around very easily. It basically means that the rear wheels are turning opposite of what the front wheels are doing at lower speeds, and at higher speeds they're turning in the same direction that the front ones are. And when I tested the new Megane RS, which also has the 4Control system, we lifted it up to look at the mechanics underneath, and I have to say that the system looks pretty simple and very mechanical, so I think not a lot can go wrong with it, which is a good thing. Now, the engine. Well, it has a 2-liter diesel engine with 200 horsepower and of course a lot of torque. And the really important thing is that it's a 2-liter engine, because before with the 1.6 liter it just didn't have the capacity to do much with this big car. And of course there was a lot of turbo lag. But now if you really need to go somewhere, you press your foot down and the car goes. It actually goes surprisingly well for how big and heavy it is. So yeah, that's really nice. Gotta slow down, cyclists. So it's no longer about getting out of its own way, it's about just driving normally on any kind of road. Now, whether you're on a highway or on a regular road, you'll always have enough power. And yeah, I guess it's a bit loud when you put your foot down, but apart from that, I really don't have a lot to complain about. And it's also mated to this dual clutch transmission, which works quite nice, and I think fits this car quite well. So it's time to talk about the consumption. When I first heard that I'll be testing this 2-liter, 200 horsepower diesel in the Espace, I thought to myself, that's gonna be quite good probably, but probably thirsty as well. And well, right now I have 7.2 liters per 100 kilometers average consumption. And you might think, yeah, it's okay. I mean, for 200 horsepower and a big heavy car like this, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. But the news is even better. I thought so as well. But this wasn't really economical driving by any stretch of imagination. It wasn't just constant hammering, but it was a lot of highways and not very economical driving. So if you were to drive this very, very carefully, I think you could get it to 6 liters, probably. Now that is quite good, actually. Also, I've got this roof over here, the sunroof, which unfortunately does not open. So I guess in the summer you can have a garden here. And if you take the optional extra, which I think is about €1,000, you get the bigger panoramic roof, which I believe also does open. Another thing that's very nice is that there's a lot of leather on the surfaces, pretty much, well, almost everywhere. So it gives you a bit of a, exclusive and very comfortable feeling. So the Espace also offers you the heads-up display. Although with this type of heads-up, I would more likely call it a head middle display, because you really don't look up as much as you do into your hood or the bonnet in this case. The plastic heads-up display, I'm not a huge fan of. It doesn't look as good as the ones that Mazda now has, for example, or BMW for a while, which actually projects it onto the windscreen. And I have to say that that's much nicer, much more practical. But, in a pinch, this is okay as well. I just wish that Renault will start using, actually projecting it onto the windscreen soon.
The base Espace starts at €36,000, while the top-of-the-line Initiale Paris with all optional extras and the 200 horsepower diesel comes up to just over €51,000.